So yeah, let's talk about your son Danny. That's the main son of yours that kind of has like a problem with you and brought this situation to light, correct?
Right.
Um, what's what when did issues between you and Danny start? When he was a kid, were you guys close and all that? Like,
We were very close. He's my first son. I mean, he was my first. When I got with his mom, she had a 2-week-old baby. That's my son Joseph. I took responsibility of him. I raised him. Try to show him how to live and shit like that. Then we had Daniel. Then we had Michael. Then we had Sammy. Then I had Heaven. Those are my kids from that one mom.
okay.
I met a son of mine who's actually older than Daniel recently. Well, when he was 14, and he's 20 something now. Daniel got jealous of him because he was no longer the first son. He's named after me, has my whole name, everything.
Okay.
But he got jealous of that son.
Is that the son that still rocks with you? And
Yeah.
Because they talk about there's still one son that like is
he's fitness. He does all this. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's a good father. He has good morals. He's doing everything I taught him that.
So that was where the animosity started, is when this other kid showed up?
That was a little inkling of it. But it really started when he started to emulate me. My kids have been around gang members. They've seen me have conversations and stuff like that. Whatever, ignorant of me to let homies, maybe talk about whatever we had back in the days. And, I was a little kid once listening to my dad. So I wanted to be, even though I despised him for not being in my life or being into dope or whatever, I still wanted that, how do you say it? Man.
That connection? Or?
Yeah, I wanted to be, a lot of homies respected him. They would tell me all these stories about my dad in prison and, all this and that. And I'm like, man, I want to have a name like that. I want people to respect me, So I know our kids do the same thing. And I seen him, buying clothes or, Dad, can I borrow your stuff? And it was getting baggier and baggier. And then one day he goes and tries to get jumped into my neighborhood. And the homies call me and I go and check him. Get his ass. You're not going to be from the neighborhood.
Okay. So is that why you joined a different hood?
He goes and tries to get into another clique of my neighborhood. And another clique that doesn't get along with that clique catches him slipping and almost smoked him. So they come to my house, hey, homie, they were already going to get him, and they tell me, hey, can you go get your son? He's writing on the walls and shit like that, claiming, another clique. So I get him and I scold him on that shit. So now he's being real rebellious. Not only that, at that time, he's being with some girl that has a baby. He's only like 14 years old, telling my daughter that he has a 2-year-old son. And I'm like, what my kid had a son? No, I find out that he's with this girl that's an ex-homie of mine, ended up being an informant, and sleeping with his own cousin and having a daughter. That's the daughter that my son's being with. I don't want him being with that bloodline. So I stopped that. He gets mad, moves to his mom's. Now he gets jumped into the Bloods. That's right there at Jefferson High School. I have all these pictures of him throwing the Bloods.
Oh, so he's not from another barrio.
She takes him out of there. Wait, I'm not even done yet, homie. And that's where people don't even know shit. She takes him out of that high school, puts him back in the high school in East, continuation, Sea Maravilla in East LA. And he meets a little kid from another neighborhood, a Raza neighborhood now. And now he gets into an enemy neighborhood of mine. Okay. And that's where it starts.
So his gangbanging journey was crazy because he was originally tried to get from your clique. Then you put a stop to that.
Right.
So he tried to get into another clique.
I don't want my kids being gang members.
Same hood,
right.
But still a different clique.
Right.
And then almost got blasted on.
Almost got smoked.
Because for being with them. Then wound up hanging out with black fools and joining the Bloods at one point. And for some reason that didn't last and wound up in his late teens, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and the reason why my other kids are like, oh, how do your kids get into a black gang? And how did, because the younger ones claim the 40s.
Yeah.
Even my little daughter, like they're right there. But that happened right there in 38th Street. Okay. When 38 was going at it with the Bloods right there.
Yeah.
And they all rushed the classrooms. And my kids, being new from East LA, they don't know about the black, and we don't do that over there in East LA.
Yeah.
We don't go at it with black. So
there's no black gangs over
So
there.
that gang got mad at my kids for not jumping in with them. My kids backed up. They got black friends and they got Mexican friends. They don't want no part. They're not raised like gang members.
Right.
They don't know shit about the life like that.
Right.
So they end up kidnapping one of my sons one day. And I'm not even gonna get into all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get, and that's what even pushed them more to be more from a black gang.
So when your son, who is your junior,
Right.
is now from an op hood of yours,
Right.
an enemy hood, how did that instantly change your dynamic? Where you kind of like, did that make
that neighborhood hates me
so
that he's from?
So did you have to disown him basically?
No, I didn't. I'll never disown my son. I love my son. Even after all this shit, I love that's my blood. That's me. He's me. He's acting how I used to act, but in a different way now. Now that you got social media and these kids don't know how to fucking respect or represent themselves properly. They won't come to you in their face. They'll bring a group of people or a strap. You know? Ain't nobody down with the chunkums. Ain't nobody gonna get down. They're just talking shit over the phone and doing all this internet shit. But not one time will anybody pull up by themselves.
Yeah. So at a certain point, he starts dating a girl that's older than him. He starts dating.
He's with two girls.
He's with two girls.
130 something, and his other baby's mom is 43 or 40, my age.
So he's a MILF hunter. You feel me? Like, so yeah, he was messing with some girl and they wind up breaking up. And then you start dating the ex?
No.
Okay.
The girl hits me up. The girl hits me up on Instagram and tells me that I have a grandson in heaven and telling me all this story about her relationship with my son. And I block it out and I tell her, hey, you know what? That's at the end of the day, you know, my prayers go out to you, but that's my little boy. I don't really want to talk about my little boy. She has like about 6 Instagrams, you know? So what she does is she starts tagging him from another Instagram, or I don't know what Instagram it was, that are us flirting back and forth, right? So this chick, on your Instagram, you could change your name on top. We have the same messages. He has messages from the girl that or I don't know if she had an abortion or she had a miscarriage. I don't know the story and I don't care because that girl's trying to be famous right now and speak up in the comments because, oh, it's all because of me. No, dummy. It's not all because of you. It's because of an ignorant, the ignorant mindset of a child and bad parenting. That's what this is about. For her, for my son, for the girl that I got involved with, that I had a baby from. This is all bad parenting. That's what this is about in reality. So anyways, she ends up sending him the messages that she's sending me. And so when he comes, he sends me a message and he's a text message. He's saying, hey, Dad, that's your problem now or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I ain't talking to your baby's mom. Like, what do you mean? You know, and I know he's hurt. He was hurt over it. So I told him, hey, come and speak to me in person. So he came and he showed me the text message. Look at Dad, look at. And I'm like, what the and it hurt me because that is me. That was me, you know, being flirtatious on the shit or whatever. But I showed him my shit. I had the same shit. It's in my other phone. I had the same shit in my phone. But that time he didn't want to see it. He didn't want to hear it. I was dead to him. He's like, oh, you're dead to me. My baby's mom got involved. So I was like, all right, you know what? Get the fuck out of here. I'm arguing with his mom, right? She's loud. She'll call the cops on you, all that shit. So I kick them out of my house. They leave. The next day I have an appointment with my son. Each of my kids I do things for. Anything, even at that age, they're always going to be my babies. So my other son, Michael, I gave him a car. I gave him my car. I don't have no car now. He got a job. He's doing good for himself. I'm going to give you my car, mijo. I'm going to give you this. And if you need this, I could get you your license at the DMV. I could help you out with this. All my kids, my daughter I took a phone from her. So the next day is my son's appointment, Michael, I'm doing a Pacalito theme on his arm, you know, but before my baby's mom left, she started smutting up my son. Oh, Michael comes over here and he gossips and all this and that and all this and that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him an ultimatum. He could keep the car, but he has to live with me. Or I'm going to take the car and he could stay with his mom and let's see how much she does for him, right? He got all mad. Why are you getting me involved? Why are you getting me involved? Because your mom's throwing you under the bus. She's saying you're talking shit and all this and that. So I go confront her and I call her a file. Why? Because she hooked up my son with somebody's wife at 15 years old, Daniel. And that's all documented in Eastlake, Juvenile Hall. Taking this 30-something-year-old female married to somebody, gonna get my son smoked. That's why. And that's how this started.
Wow.
And I don't give a shit about saying all this in air. Homies could say whatever it is, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Have people ever heard that story before? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never slept with the?
No, that's all fabricated shit.
Okay.
All that shit's fabricated. Even my kids going on American Chola, That's all fabricated shit. All the lies. I got them lying. You know, I got them lying. They're coercing my kids what to say. Daniel.
Can't go off topic and talk about other people. Just talk about him. Say that he knew about it. He knew about it. He was picking her up. He had the little girl with you in the room. Yeah, water, please. He had the little girl with you in the room when they're in the living room. Doing nasty shit. And telling you used to hear everything.
What?
That's him talking to
That's
your
him talking to my daughter,
Yeah.
telling her what to say. They're telling, and they're calling into American Chola and saying all this shit. I beat up my grandpa. I've never laid a hand on my grandfather. I'm having sex in my house. My house is little. You could hear everything. I would never be with a female with my kids in the pad at all because you will hear her. No disrespect.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that people were talking about.
That's sick.
Was your daughter who was around the same age as that girl?
Yes, some people have sex in front of their kids. That's dirty, homie.
Yeah.
Why would you want that? Why would you let that happen? That's not me.
But did you actually hang out with that girl more than once, or did you just knock her up and that was it?
That was it.
Yeah.
She got pregnant and I didn't see her till at the swap meet with the girl. That was it. That's it.